Bleachers. As always, I'm your host, Keanen Tregaskis, joined by my co-host, Alex Tanaka, recording on a Sunday now, a week after the Rafael Devers trade. He's now a San Francisco Giant. Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks, and one other prospect sent over to Boston. Kyle Harrison immediately back down to AAA. Jordan Hicks, not a great starting pitcher to begin with
Could be a good
at this
reliever.
point in his career. Hey?
If he has some control, he could be an effective bullpen arm.
If he has some control, he could give you 5 good innings. But
Hey, Blake Snell won a Cy Young doing that, Keenan. I wouldn't hate
he
on
did.
5 good innings. Okay?
He did.
They
Yeah,
give
you
Cy
are
Youngs
correct. He
for
won
that.
2 Cy Youngs
They
doing
get two
that.
Cy Youngs for that now. So
Yeah, that is very true. But this is such a wild trade to see happen, especially when it happened.
yeah, the
Like,
timing was a bit odd because we hadn't really heard rumblings that anything was imminent. Normally, you hear like
yeah,
teams are close on a trade, especially when it's a
like
star.
the rumblings were throughout April.
Yeah, but nothing really picked up. It kind of died down in May. Normally, when there's like stars, it always feels like there's leaks. I feel like aside from the Luka Doncic trade, which I think this isn't. This is not like the Luka trade at all to me.
No, it's not that.
He's not Luka Doncic. He's also not Luka Doncic.
Yeah, exactly. And the return wasn't as bad.
No, they got
Like Kyle Harrison
yeah.
can still be a solid pitcher.
Wasn't Harrison
You
like
just have to
one of their
develop
top
him.
prospects a year ago? San Francisco. He's like the number one
I think
guy.
so. He
Yeah.
just hasn't turned it on at the MLB level, but Boston's not going to give him those innings yet.
No.
The other thing about this, it happened right after, like the Red Sox were gaining momentum. They just swept the New York Yankees, took 5 of 6 from them in a 10-game stretch. We're a couple games above 500, I think tied for the last wild card spot, and then you trade your star player.
Yeah. I wonder if the reason that they did that was so that if they did it in like a bad stretch because they were having a bit of a tough time, that people didn't
Mhm.
think that they were like waving the white flag on the season. Breslow may have done that
That could be.
intentionally. I have a lot of thoughts on Craig Breslow that I'll share later, but
Yeah.
he may have done that intentionally just to show, hey, like this is I think a winning move for us this year.
Yeah. It's also, it is a little confusing because the other rumors that we did hear after the fact, they asked for Barrios from the Blue Jays. They asked for Ozuna, Murphy, and 2 pitching
Ozuna from
prospects from
who?
the Braves.
Wow, Ozuna from the
Ozuna
Braves.
from the Braves, Sean Murphy, and 2 pitching prospects, and then just settled for Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks, and a prospect who's a couple years away. Like they didn't get a solid, ready now player, which is what they wanted from both of those two teams.
I think that they realized they weren't going to get that, so they tried to settle with the next best option. They definitely are fans of Jordan Hicks, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
they must think that Jordan Hicks can succeed Aroldis Chapman in the bullpen, and he's the closer of the future. They must also believe that Kyle Harrison is the guy he was a year ago, or at least in terms of standing, not in terms of as a player. But I think looking at that, you're a bit disappointed that you didn't get more.
100%. Even without those other rumors, the first thing was, why would you make that trade? This was
Yeah.
a bad deal right away. They could have gotten Hayden Birdsong, who's another solid young pitcher from the Giants. They could have gone after Ramos. Giants had some other
You
players
think they
that
were
you
going to
could
get
have picked up.
Ramos?
Helio Ramos, you could have tried.
I mean,
There's no
maybe they
rumors
didn't
saying
try.
they
I don't think
tried.
they're getting Ramos for Denver. I don't know if you're getting him in a package there. I don't. I really
I
like.
mean, but like you got to consider how good Devers is, how long they're gonna have him for too.
Yeah, but the more I think about it, I mean, you and I both think a lockout is imminent, right? And you and I both
Yeah,
believe that it's because owners want to put in a salary cap. How does this Devers contract look after a salary cap? We don't know what the cap's going to be. So I think Breslow's trying to get ahead of this, and he's thinking because it's hard to think in terms of your team's future when you don't know what the salary rules are going to be in your league 2 or 3
yeah.
years from now. So I think what he's doing is just saying, hey, we're going to be competitive. We're going to let the kids play a little bit, and I want to see what this cap is going to look like. Is it going to be a hard cap? Is it going to be a soft cap with aprons that will turn it into a hard cap after a certain amount?
Mhm.
I just think he doesn't want to have that long-term commitment of a contract, and Devers was movable, and he was able to get some assets for it. That is, I think, Craig Breslow's thinking here, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts as well.
I think that is his thought process, but I do think they pulled the trigger a little too quickly. Like they had time. The
Yeah,
trade deadline's not for another month. You could have gotten a little more from either the Giants or someone else. They just didn't have the patience to find that middle ground. That seems to be the problem. They wanted him. It seems like they wanted him
I
gone.
agree.
And
I agree. I think you could have waited, but it's all. He's also a 28-year-old DH, right? Like
He
he's an
is.
amazing hitter.
Well, first base now. He's playing first
Playing
base for
first
the
base now.
Giants. So conveniently just
Well,
turn that
I
corner.
also did hear that he never got a solid answer from the Red Sox on if they wanted him to play first or like because Cora told him don't even bring your glove to spring training. So I think there's a lot that we don't know, and it's really easy for us to say, yeah, he should have done this or this. We weren't there. We don't know. I just people are acting a bit like Rafael Devers he's pretty good. I like him. He's not like you know I don't know. Maybe people are higher on Devers than I am, but he's a 28-year-old DH, and you don't want him in the field because he sucks there. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of okay with it because that contract could look ugly in 3 or 4 years, which isn't a problem in baseball, but it is if there's going to be a cap instituted. So
Yeah. Well, there's also that David Ortiz was getting involved in this whole situation
okay,
too.
great. Known
Did you
intellectual
guys?
David Ortiz.
Did you see any of that?
Yeah, he said like Devers wasn't returning his calls or whatever, and like isn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
saying he wasn't trying to be elevate his game, wasn't trying to be easy. Basically, just Devers' ego was bigger than the franchise,
I mean that's a
which,
hell of a thing
from
for
what
David
we've
Ortiz, who
seen,
was a DH, to say. That like I'm just gonna say like
yeah.
how can you be a DH and you're getting upset at a guy who wants to like that makes no sense to me. Like that make I don't understand that. I like
But Ortiz's bat made up for a lot more.
that's true. No, look. David Ortiz is one of the best hitters, maybe one of the most underrated players of the past 25 years. Like he was great up until the day he retired. He was one of the best hitters in the league.
Yeah,
Um, I maybe wouldn't be, throwing what's the expression? Don't throw rocks from glass houses. Like why? I don't know. I don't like David Ortiz calling him out because again, David Ortiz isn't around. Why the fuck would Rafael Devers like? What's David Ortiz gonna talk to Rafael Devers about? What are they gonna talk about? Devers is hitting fine. He doesn't need hitting advice. He needs
hmm
to fucking figure this shit out in field. Like, and is David gonna help him with that?
yeah, yeah. The Red Sox are seemingly turning back into a mess like they were post Mookie Betts trade. They've sent Christian Campbell down to AAA. Not one of their problems right now. Campbell couldn't hit anything on the inside part of the
Another
plate. His
contract.
power
And
was.
Germany signed that 8 year, $60 million. What if he never figures it out? What if he doesn't?
He's still got time.
Yeah, but
Though
what if he doesn't figure it out?
you're reaching a little bit.
I'm not saying he's not going to. I'm saying what if
Okay,
he doesn't figure it out? That could also look
that's
really bad
still.
in a cap world. That could look really bad.
But he is good defensively, and he is still very young.
That's
So
true.
he has that time where he can turn it around. And what right now is a small contract is beneficial in a salary cap era if he's even an average hitter.
We'll see. I mean, again, there's so many unknowns with what this cap is
Yeah.
going to look like. We just don't know. We can't say if it will be good or bad yet. But
No,
uncertainty is
we
always
can't.
bad. But the Red Sox in general are just kind of a shit show. Hey,
Yeah, it's gotten
like
weird.
I heard they used like an AI bot for like the first 5 rounds of interviewing candidates for like baseball ops. That's insane. That's literally insane. I'm sorry. That's insane.
It is.
But like, I'm sorry.
This used to be a respectable baseball
We're
organization.
supposed to be like all of last year. What did we say? Man, the Red Sox do it right. Hey, next year they're going to be
The Red
back.
Sox know what they're doing.
Fucking Craig Breslin, who's isn't he like a science guy? He's like a biologist, I think. Like he's one of those weird science guys. But like, I was thinking like he's a really bad communicator. Like
Seems
there have been
like
all
it.
these stories leaking the past couple weeks now about like how bad things are and like how Breslow's a really bad communicator. It makes a lot of sense to me now. All of that makes a
Mhm.
lot of sense to me because this whole organization makes no sense, and it starts from a guy who's your fearless leader who can't communicate. What do you expect to happen? Like I'm sorry, without communication,
Yeah,
your organization's fucked.
yeah. They could be in a mess. They could be in.
But they're in a mess. They keep no
Yeah,
they're
but like looking forward in the next couple
yeah,
of
things
years,
could get really bad. Things could get dark there, especially if
they
they
could
move.
either be really good and go back to being the 4 World Series champs that we know from this century,
Yeah,
or they could just hover around 500 because they have good prospects but don't know where to put the money anymore.
The other thing too is I've read rumors that they were looking at trading Abreu or Duran, and that would be suicide.
Isn't Duran on an expiring contract though?
Yeah, but he's a guy you re-sign.
He is
Duran is if you
100%.
can't retain Duran, there's no point of having a team. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like if you trade him, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like
Oh, he's a free agent in 2029. No, he's still got a couple of years, so there's no point in trading him.
I mean, he'd be great on the Jays though. I'd love to have him on the Jays. Look, because we could use some outfield help. But no, like these are the players that you and I talk about all the time. If you cannot retain them, you shouldn't be in the baseball business.
Or
Sorry, I wanted to get to my thing first.
yeah, yeah,
Just as an example on how we all overreact to trades, I remember the Tyler Glasnow trade when he was traded to the Dodgers. I think it was about 2 years ago now, 2023, the offseason.
yeah. It was
And
before
we
last year.
acted like, fuck, the Dodgers, this is
The sky is falling.
highway robbery. How do they do it? And it was Glasnow, Manuel Margot, and $4 million for Ryan Pepio and Johnny DeLuca. And Ryan Pepio has been just as good as Glasnow, and he's actually been pitching more innings. And Johnny DeLuca is a replacement level outfielder. He's fine. But so we should all relax and stop overreacting to the Rafael Devers trade.
Yeah, 27 games started as a Dodger, Tyler Glasnow. It's like this is a guy who has thrown 100 innings 3 times in his career. He got called up in 2016.
Yeah. Oh, we're 9 years into this thing with him.
It's the same story every year with him. He's hurt.
Do you think the
What a
bullpen is
surprise.
his future?
He should have been a reliever at this point in his career. If you cannot stay healthy year after year, 2018, 11 starts, 2019, 12, 2020, 11, that doesn't really count though. 2021, 14, 2022, 2.
Yeah,
Why isn't he a reliever at this point? He can't stay healthy.
I know.
He could throw 60 innings in a
I
year
love where we've gone.
as a starter,
Yeah.
or he could do that as an 8th inning man or 9th inning man and be the best in the league.
He would be one of the best in the league, I think. Like if you use him as a high leverage guy, I think he'd be great at that.
Yeah, and that should be the problem. Is the Dodgers don't need a reliever, but that should be
Dodgers
the
need
next
starters.
step in his career.
The Dodgers need healthy starting pitchers.
They need healthy starting
Yeah.
pitchers. They got Ohtani back, but that'll
Pitched
be
an inning
a
and he
long
sucked. No,
process.
he was good. He struck out 2 guys.
Yeah, 1 inning.
He's
It'll be a
pitching
long
today, I believe,
process.
as well. This is Sunday. We're recording. He's pitching against the Mets
Yes, so he's pitching against Washington today, but it'll be a long process before he's throwing even 5 innings in a game because he doesn't get a minor league rehab.
today. No, he doesn't. They're kind of doing this on the fly, but it's tough to bet against Shohei Ohtani.
It's very tough to bet against Shohei Ohtani. Yeah. Back to Tampa Bay, real quick. Their owner is in advanced talks to sell the team. Although he's been in this situation before and pulled out of deals, he's currently talking to an ownership group from Jacksonville that wants to build a stadium in the city of Tampa so they can actually have fans attend the game because that's where the stadium should be.
Oh, really? The Tampa Bay Rays should have a stadium in Tampa. I hadn't put that together.
Who would have thought?
They had apparently the owner has
would
thought
have
that.
thought?
That's crazy to me. I could have never
It's-
guessed that.
It is a wild place to put a stadium, but if they do that, revenue will go up.
No way,
People
really?
realize, oh, Tampa, Florida's a baseball market?
What? Having fans at
Who
your
saw-
games boosts revenue, and you can pay your players.
One of the largest states in the USA can fill a
And
stadium.
there's all those Latins down there too. They love
Yeah.
baseball. That sounded
They
really
do.
bad.
We saw it in the
Really
World
bad.
Baseball Classic.
That sounded bad. That sounded bad. There's a lot of those good people down there. Oh no.
Just stop. Just stop.
Isn't it
Andrew
weird,
McCutchen.
that none of the baseball markets in Florida have been able to capture the Florida baseball fans. Like, isn't
Yeah.
that crazy to you? Like, we talk about this with the Marlins, but it makes no sense.
Yeah, even if we didn't know that Florida was such a great state at producing baseball players, it's just a huge state population-wise. You would assume they could fill a stadium better than they do.
Never mind, it's one of the best baseball. It's ridiculous. I don't want to get going on this, but the fact that that like every game should be a sellout in Florida for baseball in the summer. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Like, seriously, that's malpractice. That it's not.
It is, especially with it's such a tourist destination too, and yet you would neither of those teams are marketable for tourists.
And they never have been. They never have been in their combined 50 years of existence.
Yeah, it's
I know. I know. Hey, I know.
yeah. Now, over to a bit of a bigger problem here, more MLB wide. Andrew McCutchen has come out and said the MLB is using dead balls. Meanwhile, Cal Raleigh is on pace to hit 66 home runs.
Well, I believe McCutchen said someone from Major League Baseball told him the balls are a bit more dead,
Yes,
and
he
because
did
of
say
the
that.
higher seams.
Yeah, because they're all handmade, so they're always a little different year to year. That's the excuse MLB's using.
Cal Raleigh, I think it's anecdotal, but yeah, some balls are dying on the warning track, especially if you look at
Yeah,
exit velos. It's a bit noticeable because you'll see like a 104 off the bat, and you're like, that landed before the warning track and had a good launch.
yeah. There's also quite a few pitchers so far this year with very low ERAs at this point in the
Are we sure?
season.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I'm picking on these guys, but like, I'm gonna say Scooble and Skeens. Are they this good? Are they this good? Like,
Is Hunter Brown a sub 2
yeah,
ERA guy?
yeah, like is Hunter Brown like really this guy? Like, I would have to say no. I think the pitchers are definitely benefiting a little bit. Like, well, it was weird that we didn't pick up on this when we were like, yeah, the Mets rotation's awesome. They're so good. How do they do it? And like nobody can hit.
Yeah. I haven't looked at the hard hit rates for the Mets, and I don't care that much, but it could be one of those things. Oh, they're getting rocked, and the balls are just
Yeah,
dying. I don't think it is,
yeah.
but that would be funny, and that would be very Mets-like too.
That would be the most Mets thing to ever met.
Yeah, just like, dude, did you see their record this week?
I did not.
Tampa Bay went into Queens, swept them.
Normally, Queens is a fortress for the Mets too, and they
Yeah,
really
I
rely
think we were
on
talking
that.
about that last week.
Yeah, they really rely on that.
The next series, Mets went to the Atlanta, got swept.
That doesn't matter. The Braves stink anyway. That doesn't count. I mean,
I think
aren't they still
they're
leading the division?
currently
Aren't they still leading?
they are currently tied with the Phillies at the top of that
The Phillies
division.
stink anyways. The Mets are going to be fine. Don't worry
Hey,
about the Mets.
they've split the first two games of their head-to-head series so far. They play tonight.
Fine. Again, the Mets get better in October and the Phillies get worse in October. So it doesn't matter.
The Mets are also the Mets.
Yeah, and the Phillies are still the Phillies. They're still the same bunch of cocky assholes who fold under the slightest bit of resistance.
Does a good team lose 7 games in a row?
Yeah, apparently they do because the Mets did. Apparently they do. Oh my god, over 162 games. Teams can have cold streaks.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just coping because your team sucks.
Also, because I don't like the Mets, but yeah. Also, the Yankees too. 6 straight losses. New
Oh,
York was
can
going
a good
through it
team lose
last
6 games? I don't know. They
They
just
lost
did.
7 of 8.
Yeah, they just did. It happens all the time. It's
Okay, but you know what else? You know what is actually a bad look for the Yankees, though? 3 straight shutouts.
yeah, that's
Once by the Red
that
Sox, two by the Angels.
that's real.
27 straight innings.
Hey,
You get shut out
the balls
back-to-back
are
games
dead in
by the
Keanen. I
Angels.
don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. The balls are dead.
That's a bad look.
Uh, Staying on the Mets, Alvarez goes down to AAA. You said, is
Yeah,
it time to consider him a bust? I say, give the guy some time. You know,
he's had some
you're
time,
always
but
so
he's been
quick.
up since 2022.
You're always so quick to call people busts, Keenan. I want to give them chances. So let's just.
Since when do you want to give players chances? It's just because he's a Met, isn't it?
I didn't say it. You said it, but yeah, he's on like strike 2.5.
Yeah,
Like he's getting close.
he's getting real close.
Oh,
But yeah,
you've shoehorned in a
he's
Braves
been
story here. What is this? Sorry, the Braves are going to be sellers.
will
Absolute
not be
sellers.
sellers. Alex Anthopoulos says the Braves will not be sellers, and there is no chance Sale is traded. I think he's lying
Isn't Sale
to
hurt?
try and. Sorry?
Isn't Chris Sale hurt?
Yeah, he's hurt now, but this. Alex Anthopoulos said this before he was hurt. I think he's lying to just try and get the team, to try and motivate the team, saying, hey, we're in this together. We still got this.
We're in this
Because if you're
together.
10 games under 500 at the deadline, you're selling no matter what,
Well,
right? No matter what league this is.
yeah, I would say they should be selling anyways. Like I think
I do agree with you, but I'm not perceiving this as him being straight up honest, saying,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
this is not happening. I think this is just a last cry to try and motivate the team and try and push him because this core can do better than what they're doing.
That's totally fair, but you're 6 games under 500 at the end of June. You
Yeah,
need
and
to know those facts of like,
that's why I don't believe
yeah,
him.
no, 100%. And like, I don't either because you can talk about how talented the group is, how talented the core is, but if they're not winning, they're not winning, and you're not like you just need to make changes. So it may suck, but they'll figure it out though. And Anthopoulos is a good GM.
He is a good GM, and I do wonder if he'll publicly change anything now that Sale's gone for a little while.
I doubt
The
it.
fracture,
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do all that stuff publicly though. He doesn't
that is true.
like he's more.
I am surprised he said that
Yeah,
they're
no,
not
he's normally like a
selling,
wheeler and dealer behind the scenes, right? Like,
which is how it should be.
yeah, I don't want to
You
try.
no other teams should not know publicly know what your plans are. That's bad. That's bad
But it
business right
is
there.
reassuring for the fans to know sometimes as well. So you have to balance.
It is reassuring for the fans too, but you kind of gotta
And I saw
ride
John
that fine
Fisher's made
line
a
there.
sale. Keenan, do you want to expand on that?
John Fisher has finally sold the San Jose Earthquakes of the MLS.
Great, good for him. This
That's a
actually,
little gotcha.
I wonder if this is a good thing though. Maybe.
This might be him making some money because he needs to bring players in when they go to Vegas. You're not going to Vegas riding the cap floor, a
No.
hypothetical cap floor.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't sell Vegas Wolf tickets. Okay, like you
Yeah,
need to. The Raiders can get away with it because there's only like what is it 8 or 9 home games. You can figure shit out for that. You cannot
yeah,
figure it out for 81. You need to put up or shut up, right? In a town like
yeah,
Vegas where you're going up against all this other entertainment, you need to put on a show. And in a baseball game, it's a bit tougher with like so. Just have a really good team, right? Like Vegas is a
yeah.
sports
You
town.
need
You
talent,
just need a really good team. That's the best show. Is just a bunch of talented players, right? So
and for him, it's going to be buying pitchers.
yeah, they need pitching. They need starting pitching desperately and bullpen help. Offensively, they're one of the
Yeah,
most exciting teams in a while. For
yeah. They've got that excitement, but
Kurtz,
the pitching
Wilson,
is just
Butler, Clark. Oh my
brutal.
God, they're so talented.
Yeah, very talented young offense. Maybe some of this money is going to be going to some extensions there as well, because you're going to want to have an on-field product for as long as you can in Vegas. You don't want to just throw it all out in a couple years.
Yeah, no, but I mean, we've seen Fisher got the team before, so
Yeah, I wouldn't, I wouldn't put it past him to do it again, but
there's just too
you
much
have to
talent.
hold out hope.
But there's way too much talent to gut. Like they're
Yeah,
simply too good to blow up. Like unless you trade Wilson, Kurtz, Soderstrom, Butler, and Clark. I mean, and Miller. Like you can't trade. That's like
and they
8 guys.
still
Like you can't.
Langoliers as
Shea
well,
Langoliers,
Max
yeah.
Muncy.
Yeah, there's just way too much for you to even trade. They're just simply too good.
Yeah,
They just need time.
and there's still on. A lot of them still have like 6 years of
Yeah,
service
even
time
John Fisher
before
can't
they're a
fuck
free
this up.
agent.
Famous last words.
Yeah, they will make the playoffs in their first couple of years in Vegas.
A hundred
Like
percent they will.
they will luck you. Eventually, you do luck into pitching if you don't have it. If you don't have hitting,
Yeah,
eventually you luck into hitting.
playing the free agent pitcher game is always a fun thing to do though.
Yeah, but yeah,
That's always because you get some random shit when that happens. Like, well, like look at the Pirates. They have pitching suddenly out of nowhere.
yeah, no offense at all. They have like one of the best
I saw
rotations somehow.
Mitch Keller is an ERA of like 4.15, and his record is 1-10. Like it's
It's
so brutal.
brutal.
I'm like, oh
Like he has like the most quality starts in the MLB,
yeah, and
and he's
these
one in
guys
11.
suck. These guys.
Like their offense, they couldn't hit a ball off a tee.
No, they couldn't hit a ball. That's a very good way to say it. Yeah. Should we do our pitching matchups now?
We can do our pitching matchups. I think you win last week's.
I think so as well. I think so as well.
Yeah. Yoshinobu Yamamoto did not really do that good. 4 2/3, 6 hits, 5 earned,
Five
4 strikeouts,
walks.
and
Five
five
walks
walks.
is the key thing.
That was wild. Logan Webb held up his own as expected. 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Strikeouts, there just weren't any in that game.
Yeah, I mean, that divisional game, the hitters know the pitchers really well, right? So,
Yeah.
but then Shane Baz, my God, did he turn it on? 6 2/3, no earned runs. It was against the Mets, so I know that you're probably really happy with that. Canning did not pitch very well. Like, maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he
It
gave up
was
what 6 earned
meh.
runs?
That says 3 earned runs there.
Yeah, I think he gave up 6 though.
Okay, then a couple unearned runs, but yeah.
I mean, hey, I'll take it. Griffin Canning, still a solid guy though. Still a great pitcher.
Yeah, that was in Queens too when Shane Baz did that.
Shane Bass had a really good year. Shane Bass he had a really hot start. Oh no, did he have a cold start?
He had a hot start, couple of blow up.
Yeah, and now he's back. Okay, yeah,
month.
because he was like out of the gate. He had like his first like 3 or 5 starts were amazing.
Yeah.
So okay, that was good.
It's the Rays pitching lab.
They know what they're doing. What is your matchup this week though? Are you going to Queens?
I have to change my matchup.
Why?
I just realized that we're 30 minutes into recording.
I've prepared for this episode as I normally do. I'm taking this young kid from the Brewers who is throwing 196. He's throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and 96-mile-an-hour sliders. He's pretty much just like Paul Skeens. Jacob Mizorowski versus Andrew Heaney. That's going to be on Tuesday. The strategy is Mizorowski's a great pitcher, and the Pirates can't fucking hit. So having that is crucial. Heaney, I know he's cooled off a little bit, but I think the Brewers are just kind of I don't think they're a great offense. I think Heaney can miss bats. I'm predicting Mizorowski, 6 innings, 1 earned, 9 Ks. Heaney, 6 innings, 2 earned, 4 Ks. Guaranteed. Put on the board.
Okay. Yeah. My original one was Chris Sale, Clay Holmes. I wrote this a couple of days ago. Forgot to change it. So I'm going to go what I think is a better matchup on paper. Paul Skeens, Freddie Peralta.
You're using your Paul Skeens now, hey?
I'm going to use my Paul Skeens now.
Wow. Okay. And when is this game?
This is on Wednesday.
Skeens, Peralta. Okay. I feel like, Skeens is almost a guaranteed win for you, but I have the other Paul Skeens. I have Mizorowski, so we'll see.
Yeah, Mizorowski.
Literally just
I think
Paul
it was
Skeens light.
12 it was 11 or 12 perfect innings.
No hit innings.
No hit innings. That's what it was.
Not perfect.
I think he was perfect through 6 in his second start.
Yes.
Is what it was. I think it was a walk and then a 2-run home run.
But he's incredible.
He has been. I think we talked about it last year. We talked about it this year. I was very high on him. I think you were as well.
Yeah, the fastball velo is just amazing.
And he is. I thought he was going to come in and be their next Josh Hader, a very good reliever who can give you 2 innings, lock down any offense. He is proving to be a headliner at the front of a Brewers rotation that knows how to develop pitchers.
Yeah, again, the Brewer pitching lab is strong, and you don't ever trade for a pitcher from the Brewers, because if they're trading him, something's not right. And
yeah, same with the Rays.
Finding out.
Same with the Guardians.
Yeah. A lot of teams. Please trade for Blue Jay pitchers. We don't know how to fucking do anything with them.
All right, let's move over to the standings now.
Yeah, I'll kick it off with the New York Yankees. Despite their rough stretch, they're still 45-32 and leading the division. 2.5 games back are the Rays, 43-35. The Jays, struggling, lost 2 out of 3 to Chicago, 41-36. The Red Sox, 8-2 of their last 10. Maybe trading Devers was a good thing, 40-38. And the fledgling Orioles, 33-44. Dead last and very disappointing.
I think sometime midweek, Orioles-Rays played each other. Baltimore was up 8-0 after the second inning, lost 12-8, only got 1 hit in the 7 innings after that.
Yeah, the Orioles might have been frauds, hey?
It's a tale of both of their seasons. Baltimore just completely collapsing, and Tampa Bay fighting through every kind of adversity you can throw their way.
Just figuring it out.
And they have not stopped winning right now. 2.5 games back of the Yankees.
And their pitching has been holding very strong.
And the offense as well, too. Jonathan Aranda, completely broken now.
Junior Camanero's a star.
Yeah. I think both the Lau brothers are hitting well and healthy, which is an anomaly for Tampa Bay. But yeah, great division. And everyone is... Well, 4 of these teams are above 500. National League East is a 2-horse race. Both the New York Mets and Philadelphia Phillies are 46-31. One of those 2 teams will be on top after tonight. They play the Sunday night baseball game at 4 p.m. Atlanta, 10.5 games back, 35-41. Washington, following an 11-game losing streak where the manager said it was not on the coaching staff and never was, are 32-45, and Miami are 31-45.
Yeah, what did you make of the manager's comments, Keenan?
That's a wild thing to publicly say.
Yeah,
Like, you're already losing 10 games in a row and you're just demoralizing your team even more. Oh, it's not
I think
our
that's
fault.
I think it's honestly insane to me that he would ever say that. Like,
And hasn't gotten fired for it yet.
the not firing thing is fine, because it's the Nationals, but yeah, it's crazy to me. I did have a fun national stat though. Um, the Washington Nationals are still just Juan Soto and everybody else. Allow me to expand on this.
Yeah, I know, but with James Wood.
Yes, well here. The team has a combined 8.8 F WAR in 2025. Players acquired from the Juan Soto trade, James Wood, Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams, and Hassel, combined to make up 7.6 of that. Trevor Williams is the other 1.3, and the rest of the roster are combined negative zero point 0.1.
That's
It's literally the
wow.
Juan Soto trade, Trevor Williams, and the fucking rest of them. Like, this rebuild is not good. It's not going well.
No. Well, the only other piece they really have, Keibert Ruiz and Dylan Cruz. Cruz wasn't good and now he's hurt, and Keibert Ruiz is not doing
Yeah,
well at
it's
all.
just the Juan Soto trade and a bunch of regular dudes.
They're gonna need to sign some proven hitters because
But they
Nathaniel
do
Lau.
that though. They do that.
They did that last offseason with Nathaniel Lau. It hasn't turned out well, although they weren't expected to compete yet. Next year, they might actually try and turn the corner because every single one of those players you just mentioned from the Soto trade will be taking that next step forward. You're going to want to surround them with talent at some point. They're a smart organization. They buy when they need to. I'm going to bring it back to the American League East real quick, as I just saw on ESPN. Blue Jays Max Scherzer expected to start Wednesday.
Hell
It's
fucking
good to
yeah,
see him
brother.
back on the
Hell
mound.
yeah. Need that.
You do. That
Really need it.
pitching
Like
depth
really need
is
that. That's
thin.
huge.
Yeah.
We will. I mean, oh my god, if we get prime Max Scherzer out there, this team could win the World Series. Fuck it. Let's trade for Jacob
Yeah.
DeGrom too. Why not? Just a bunch of old guys.
Yeah.
I'll keep things moving forward though at the L Central. The Tigers almost 20 games above 500, 49 and 30, the best team in the American League. The Guardians still somehow winning baseball games, 48 and 37. Or sorry, 38 and 37. The Royals are 38 and 39. The Twins are 37 and 39. So those three are all still fighting for second place. And the White Sox are 25 and 53. Somehow beating my Blue Jays 2 games in a 3-game series. Really depressing
Yeah.
stuff. Really depressing.
That was unfortunate.
Killing me. You're killing. I hate the White Sox so much. How did we lose? Should have been
I
three
don't know.
free
White
wins.
Sox are the only team to not win 10 games on the road. Colorado has somehow done that at this point.
Really?
Colorado's 10 and
Wow.
31 on the
Look
road.
at
The White
Colorado.
Sox are 9 and 32.
Okay.
I did not see that coming. I can't use my line of saying Colorado is the worst at everything
No,
anymore.
they aren't the worst on the road. I will say a funny
No.
thing though. All of these teams, like it was funny because like there were 3 teams from the Central in the playoffs last year. There's only going to be one this year.
Yeah, but the American League wildcard race is weird right now.
It's very weird, but
It's very
otherwise,
weird.
these
I think
teams are
the
not
Red
really-
Sox have the last spot and they're 2 games above 500. It's going to be who gets hot at the right time.
Yeah, and I mean the Royals might. Maybe the Royals.
I think it could come down to who has the easiest September.
That
If
is
you
true.
close September at 500, play 12 games against the White Sox, you're in the playoffs.
That's true. Having the White Sox in your division's huge because you play a lot of divisional
Yeah.
games around that time of the year.
Yeah. National League Central. One of the best offenses in the league, Chicago Cubs, got battered by Cal Raleigh and the Mariners today. They are 46 and 31, so 4 games ahead of Milwaukee, who are 42 and 35. It was a slow start for them, and they've just turned it on, especially after the Mizorowski call-up. 3 straight wins. Offense is clicking. Pitching is getting locked down right now. St. Louis, another team that just somehow keeps winning games. They're 42 and 36. Your Cincinnati Reds are 40 and 38. Only team in the MLB to not be swept this year, and yet they're only 2 games above 500. Pittsburgh, 31 and 48. With that pitching staff, everyone should be fired.
You know the thing is, 318 runs allowed is really, really, really good.
It is really good.
But they've only scored 257, which is like even Colorado scored more. Even the
Yeah.
White Sox have scored more. It's embarrassing.
Borderline top 10 pitching staff rotation based off runs
There's a
allowed.
strong case for that. There's a strong case for that.
And their negative 61 run
Do you
differential.
think the Reds can sneak into the wild card spot?
This is going to be one of those situations. They just have to stay hot.
Yeah.
But they don't.
They
Like,
no, they don't. They
they
can.
don't play
They can
consistent
stay hot,
baseball.
Keanen.
Like,
They can. They just
it's 1 week good, and then they'll go and lose 3 or 4 in St. Louis,
they
and they're
can
all like
stay hot, but
1-2 run ball
they
games.
just might not. Like I don't know.
Chase Burns making
Debut.
his major league debut for them. They're throwing him again into the dogs though in New York
Ugh.
against the Yankees.
Yankees
Yankees
can't
feast on
hit.
rookie pitchers.
This is
They do
genius.
feast on rookie pitchers though.
We'll see.
It's going to be one of those either six shutout innings or he allows 6 in the first inning.
It might not matter because that feels like a game where the Reds score 18 runs and get shut out the other 2 games.
It could be. Can he hit baseballs though? Because that seems to be their problem.
The Reds will figure it
Can't
out.
score
Why are
well.
you always being so negative about the Reds?
Because you expect them to get better.
I
They
do.
just
I
haven't.
thought the Reds could win the World Series this year if they snuck into the playoffs.
Really?
I'd be like, hey, who would want to play them in the playoffs? Managed by Francona? Do you want to go against Terry Francona in the playoffs? I wouldn't.
Look, I think I'm the only one allowed to make bold predictions about teams because that Reds take is not working.
Well, I said before the season started. I still think they can be like the third wild card team and be an
They
interesting
could.
watch in the playoffs. Okay, that's what I'll say.
They're 3 games back right now.
They'll figure it out.
They could, yeah. I won't put that past them. They do have a chance.
I'll move to the American League West, where the Astros are 11 games above 500, 44-33. The Mariners blew it again, 39-37, powered by Cal Raleigh. The Rangers, 38-40, just kind of doing nothing. Angels, 37-39, doing nothing. Athletics, 32-47, not a bad offense. The worst pitching staff I've ever seen.
Yeah, no
They're
kidding.
horrible.
Yeah, Seattle is just Cal Raleigh and friends.
It is Cal Raleigh and friends. It should be Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez and friends, but J-Rod sucks.
He does.
When do we say like this is one of the worst contracts ever?
What is his contract?
Not good. Not good for the Mariners. He's getting paid a fair amount of money, and he sucks. Like he's not a good hitter.
12 years, $209 million.
Yeah. Like
Whew.
he's getting.
Yeah, and
He's not good.
league average.
Like he's not good. It's crazy though, but he's a good defender, so it's fine. But
Yeah,
this
not for
division just
$209 million though.
this division just reeks of mediocrity.
Yeah. Astros and Angels had a little skirmish last night after Hunter Brown hit Zach Neto in the hand for the second time this year, I think.
Yeah, the one good player on the
Neto
team.
had some words for him. Brown had some words for Neto. Everyone converged. Nothing really happened.
Nothing ever happens at these. They're just like fuck you, Matt.
Dodgers had a
Yeah,
good
that was
little
where
clash,
was it? Tatis got hit, and then Otani got hit, and then we all just decided this is stupid.
Yeah, Tatis got hit. Everyone benches cleared. The managers started pushing each other. Dave Roberts said, and I quote to Mike Schilt, "I will fuck you up." This is the same guy who whined about Manny Machado rolling a ball in their dugout.
Yeah, Dave Roberts is a pussy. Dave Roberts.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts might be my least favorite person in baseball because I just don't think he's very good at his job.
Yeah.
Like
He almost-
dude, we could find a demented streetwalker and they could coach the Dodgers to a World Series.
He almost blew them a game just by being a bad manager.
Do you think that,
It was,
Keanen, do you think that the Dodgers would their World Series chances go down if Freddie Freeman became a player manager?
No, God no.
Exactly. Dave Roberts is a moron. Couldn't fucking
Yeah, he almost blew them a game against the San Diego Padres. They had a rookie pitcher on the mound, or 24-year-old Justin Roblowski going in for his 5th inning of work in the 9th inning. Top of 9th, leadoff single, then a ground into field choice, and then a solid hit from Sheets. This is his 5th inning of work. Do you think he pulls him out at this point?
Tell us. I'm on the edge of my seat
No,
here.
he does not.
Of course not.
Jake Cronenworth comes in, hits a sac fly. It's now a 1-run ball game. Bogarts doubles home Machado. The game is tied.
Now what happens? Now what does Dave Roberts
He does not pull him. Iglesias smokes one to first base. Freddie Freeman gets the runner out at home. Dave Roberts gets saved because the Padres don't know how to run bases, and then he keeps him in, and then he gets out of it as Diaz grounds into a fielder's choice.
Dave Roberts is...
He just left him out to dry. Like, it was genuinely, I was watching this, like, this is bad management. Like, this is the one thing you do not do as a manager. He just left him out to dry.
We're spending a lot of time on the Dodgers. Do you want to, like, go over the NL West now?
Yeah, sorry, I had to get that.
Hey, get out of your system.
I had to get that out there.
I hate Dave Roberts too, bro. Me too.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, me too, bro.
Yeah, LA, 47-31. They're still really good. Shock. San Fran, 43-34. Since that trade, they're 2-3.
That's
and
such a small sample size. That's such a small sample.
Yeah, I started that. I thought it was going to be a little more.
5 games.
But it is a very small sample size.
Huge.
San Diego has fallen out of a wild card spot for the first time this season. They're 41. They'd be locked into a wild card spot in the American League. Arizona 39-38 just lost one in Colorado. You can't do that. Yeah. Colorado 18-60, 478 runs allowed. Haven't won 10 games at home yet, but they've won 10 on the road.
I think actually playing on the road is better for them, though. Wouldn't playing on the road be better for them?
It would be,
because they're in cool.
Still one of those things you'd rather see your home record be better.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, that's I don't know what to say to that. Where do we think the final order of the NL West is going to be, though, 1 through 4? Like, can we comfortably lock the Dodgers in at 1?
Yeah, I'll say switch the Padres and Giants because this is the Padres' cold stretch.
And you think Arizona stays in 4th?
Yeah, their pitching isn't doing it. Gallen sucks now, which is awful. Brendan Pfaadt has been completely imploded. No Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
And the bullpen is injured. No AJ Puk, no Justin Martinez, and the rest of them suck. Injuries aren't helping, but even when they were healthy, they couldn't find themselves comfortably above 500.
Do you think the owner's going to try and fight Jacob Montgomery again?
Yeah, he might.
Jordan Montgomery. I don't know.
Jordan Montgomery.
Whatever.
One of the best offenses in the league too. It's
100%. They're one of the best.
It's such a shame.
It's all getting wasted. It's all getting wasted.
Such a waste. Like, they're so fun to watch offensively, and then they lose a game 10-8.
Well, that's the good thing is they're good to watch just because there's going to be runs scored.
Yeah, like once a week they'll lose a barn burner like 10-8, and it's like you gotta win that.
And you're like, if you're scoring 8 runs, you got to find a way to win the game here. Like, come on.
Yeah. Tell that to Baltimore. They choked that 8-0 lead.
Baltimore, they're kind of. I don't know what this organization needs to do, but they got to figure it out.
They need to find someone who wants to spend money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if this is the general manager being incompetent or the owner giving him such a tight payroll.
I have no idea. They got to figure it out, though, because there's too many good, talented players.
It is, and they're all just, like, why would they be happy right now? Like, you come into this year, we're going to be so good. We're, like, the youngest, most talented offense in the league, and every day the pitching staff just allows, like, 8 runs.
Yeah, people thought Baltimore and Tampa would be in, like, the spot that each other's in right now. People thought Baltimore was going to be second, maybe third. People thought Boston was going to be good, and they've both kind of just laid an egg this year.
Yeah, that one's on us. We doubted the consistently good organization and prompted put up the organization that had been good for 2 years. I can't believe that I drank the Red Sox Kool-Aid. We drank the Red Sox Kool-Aid, and we doubted the Tampa Bay Rays.
So embarrassing.
We doubted Kevin Cash. That's on us.
That's entirely our fault. We lied to you people. Yeah. We're sorry.
We lied. We lied to our 10 fans.
And next week, next season, I will say the Rays are going to finish in 20th.
In the league?
Probably. I'm probably going to say that. Yeah, the Rays, there's just not a lot there. I'm thinking probably 18.
I don't see it now. They just traded Ryan Pepiot for some scrub.
Yeah, they just fucking Junior Caminero. This guy sucks. Okay, he had a bad second half. No, these guys are bad. I'm not going to be convinced. No, this is the year it all. It's like the Rays. Saying the Rays are going to be bad. It's like when people at the end of Tom Brady's career were like, "Yeah, Brady's going to fall off now," and he just kind of never did. Like the Rays just never do that. They're just really good all the time.
They're just really. There's 3 teams. They don't rebuild. They retool. Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Tampa Bay.
L.A.
Yeah, but they're different.
Okay,
they spend money though. That's a different kind of. I was kind of grouping those 3 teams together because they do it the same way.
Yeah. No, you make a lot of sense. I know what you're saying, and you make sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Indiana Pacers.
I don't watch basketball, but
Game
I'll let
7
you
tonight.
make that comparison.
Game 7 tonight. I'm saying
Yeah,
Pacers. I'm going to say Pacers 125, Thunder 120.
you got the Haliban winning it.
The Haliban, yeah. Are you a fan of the Haliban? Do you support the Haliban?
No, I don't. I do see I think one of your buddies, every one of our TikTok posts, day one of asking for an
NBA
NBA.
terms, yeah. I'll work that into the show next week when I have some free time.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we'll get that out for him.
Yeah. We're
All
we
right.
support the people.
On that note, we will end the episode here. Thank you all for tuning in.